Let's connect with Mr. Arun Tiwari, Chairman and Managing Director of Union Bank. Mr. Tiwari, good morning and thank you for joining us. The Finance Minister, Mr. Tiwari, did mention that he has discussed on various ways of raising Tier 1 capital for PSU banks. Could you give us some color on the same?
Sure. Yesterday's meeting, like all the quarterly meetings which are held by a Finance Minister, they are very focused, very forthright, very incisive. And one of the agendas which were discussed, the Tier 1 capital in the banks. In particular, nobody as of date, excepting one bank, is below that benchmark level. So as of today, many of the banks who are not really much above the threshold level, they are looking for various options to raise their Tier 1 capital. Like for us, in Union Bank of India, we have got permission of the board to raise QIP to the extent of 1,386 crores. We are looking for the right market conditions. The moment they happen, we would come out with our QIP issue. And that was the same kind of sentiments were shared by all other public sector banks as well.
Mr. Tiwari, hi, morning. At the meeting with the Finance Minister, could you give some color on the system asset quality stress and has it peaked out?
Okay, I'll answer in one or two or three parts. One, look, banking sector is an inseparable part of the economy. Nobody had thought about 3 years back that economy would not be so good or that bad for such a long period. So that will have its spin of negative impact on the banking system per se, and which has happened globally across the board, all banking financial institutions. Coming back to Indian side of it, to me, one, yes, economy has not been doing good, and so we see the accelerated rate, we saw the impairment of the assets. But what was discussed yesterday, in some of the sectors, the NPA levels are coming down, especially the smaller loans, like home or education loans, one. On the other side of it, if we look at the large corporates or mid corporates, now by and large, industries are not that bad. The problem is of the cash flow. If I look at my own book of NPA and restructured assets, now restructured assets, about 25% or 20-25% is the discoms. Remaining about 40% or 45% is the book where it was more of the externalities. The projects could not take off or things like. So in the total bottom line of this is that one, as far as the incremental NPAs are concerned, they have ebbed out for sure. And if we see a green shoots here and there, I'm pretty sure Union Bank of India and banking industry as a whole, we have seen that NPA increasing day in and day out at our back.
Mr. Tiwari, the Finance Minister did also mention that he is open to consolidation in PSU banks. But has he left the choice with bankers? What are your thoughts on the same?
Okay, now talking about the consolidation, yes, going forward as the economy matures, consolidation is the name of the game across the board, which includes the banking industry also. Now, in the Indian context, the consolidation talks have been on for a pretty long time. The last merger amongst public sector we saw was perhaps of a larger scale was Punjab National Bank and New Bank of India. That was many years back. Thereafter, nothing much has progressed. Of course, amongst the stable of State Bank of India, there have been mergers within them with their associates. Having said so, now we should also not forget the recent talks which are hovering around Nachket More Committee. Now they want to come out, they have mooted the idea that different sets of banks should come in going forward. Within the public sector space, yes, there is nothing wrong if we segregate some of the banks which are A category banks which have got international outlook. That should be one category. Then there are certain banks within the public sector banks which are more, not necessarily regional level, but yeah, they are, their concentration in the geographies is regional. So we can think of some consolidation there, and there are some very regional level players. There could be consolidation there also. That's one. Two, you asked me about Union Bank of United Bank of India. No, there is nothing, there was nothing, and there will be nothing of the merger of the two entities.
I like your conviction. There was nothing, there will be nothing, and these banks will not be merged. Reliance, meanwhile, has managed to appreciate. Now, Reliance has been a marked underperformer, but if catch-up is the theme, why not Reliance? It's a heavyweight, 839 rupees. After a gap of many weeks, Reliance finally has a good-looking chart, 840 rupees, 17 rupees up for Reliance. That's the big one which is now participating. IT still hasn't recovered. In fact, ECS and Tech Mahindra have fallen more. They're trading almost at the lowest point of the day. Nifty is at 64.51, 50 points off of the Nifty. So courtesy L&T and Reliance, benchmark indices are looking extremely strong. Mr. Tiwari, let's talk about your margins. What you've reported for the quarter gone by is a NIM number of less than 3%. What is the way going forward for your NIMs or net interest margins?
Immediately future, we won't. I do not foresee any increase in the rates either on the deposit side or on the lending side. But having said so, to the margins, like everything boils down to whether you talk about the margins, you talk about the ROA, you talk about the NIM, you talk about the ROE, all is connected with one single figure of the bottom line. Now, of all the public sector banks or banks in general, with the accelerated pace of, unfortunately, NPA accretion, one, we stop earning interest on that, and two, the reversals also take place. And as I said before, in as much as our bank is concerned, we have peaked out in NPA or impaired asset portfolio. Going forward, I'm pretty sure, one, our earnings would be more. Two, with all the banks having very focused attention towards now recovery. So there would, and recovery especially in the write-off accounts, which it straight away goes to our profit and loss. So I'm pretty sure going forward, all these numbers, whether you talk about the NIMs or ROA or ROE, they would improve in the times to come, for sure.